is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Spread the big noise, Evans here, joined by the good son, Nathaniel Lundy. Tis indeed another hashtag Tequila Thursday edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. Let's not waste a second of time. We got tickets in hand, and we're boarding the honk, honk, plus bus. Plus 100 odds or greater it could be on the Thursday Night Football affair, which should be a hell of a showdown between the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals. A game first time out went for just 79 total points. Could be on the ice, maybe the NBA, maybe some college basketball, college football. It's whatever is your pleasure, mi amigo. So plus 100 odds or greater. What do you have?
Well, first and foremost, I hope everybody's been listening to me about Christian Brown. I told y'all. I told y'all on Monday, keep playing his points and rebounds or his PRA, but really his PR until the bookmakers catch up. I'm just going to keep reminding you. I hope you did it because he did it again last night in that in the come from behind victory that the Nuggets pulled off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's go to the ice, though. Big slate of games tonight. Hold on. 3, 6, 9, 12.
Wow.
12 games on the ice this evening, 3 of them in the association. And then, of course, Thursday night football. And we'll talk some Thursday night for me in bonus time, some Thursday night NBA in bonus time as well. But let's start off on the ice. I go to Winnipeg, where the Colorado Avalanche will be to take on the Jets. A couple of things that lead into this particular bet for us. First and foremost, I'll give you an early bonus time. Play the over in this contest. It is sitting at 6.5, minus 115 standard juice across the board right now. I think FanDuel might have it at like minus 112, but you're basically looking at minus 115. Reason why: last 7 times these two teams have played, and it doesn't matter whether it is north of the border or right here in the Centennial State, they have hit the over 6 out of the 7, and some of them have been just obscene. I've already told you that Colorado has not figured out their goaltender situation, and so they're just going to keep being leaky. But we know they can score. And in the first 13 games of the season, yes, Nathan MacKinnon has started the season with 13 straight games where he has at least a point. And of his 25 points that he has in those 13 games, he's a freaking machine. 19 of them are assists. Okay, we're going to take him for an assist as opposed to a standard point. And then we're going to do the same thing with Mark Scheifele of the Jets as he sits there on that line for them. If you look at Scheifele, let me find his number right now. 5-game point streak, 7 points total, and 5 of those 7 have been apples as well. I already told you I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, which means there's a lot of opportunities for that first or second assist. So we're going to play this one as a simple 2-legger SGP tonight between the Jets and the Avs, plus 210 at DraftKings.
All right, let's go to the plus money market and the anytime touchdown market, and go ahead and spike one home, Mark Andrews, at plus 200 on that anytime score for the Baltimore Ravens in this key matchup, interdivisional key matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, Isaiah Likely's not going to play in this game, so you can get this right now at 2-1 odds. I grabbed it at BetMGM. Back in week 5, in the first tango between these two teams, he didn't score, but remember, that's when he started really picking things up at that extremely sluggish start to start the regular season. He had 5 targets, 4 catches, and a double nickel, 55 yards. In that week 5 contest, he scored a touchdown in 3 of his last 4 games. He's top 10 at the tight end position in total red zone targets this season. And you look at the Bengals, they have been on the struggle bus in terms of defense the entire year. Number 20 in pass EPAD, specific to tight ends. They've given up the 7th most yards to the position and 5 end zone spikes to tight ends as well. So Mark Andrews, anytime touchdown, plus 200, my favorite best value wager in the anytime TD market on Thursday Night Football. With those bets on the board, let's get after it on this hashtag Tequila Thursday with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
Oh, the wonderful confluence of sports action this time of year. Let's get a cross-sport parlay on the board. A rarity here on the Fade 5 podcast, but I really like the action on both of these legs. One in the NFL on Thursday night, and the other one in the North Florida game in the world of college basketball. So on the front end with the NFL, I think this is going to be a pew shootout affair between these two squads. So I feel both teams will score at least 20 points. So go ahead and put that leg on the board. You got over under in the low 50s in this game. And I think it's going to be more of the same. You look at, defensively, Baltimore outside the top 25 EPA per play defense. Cincinnati outside the top 20 EPA per play defense. Both these teams well inside the top 10 EPA per play offense. So both should put up a 2 and a 0 in the box score. Then you look at North Florida. That squad taking on Charleston Southern. A lot of people, not really paying attention outside of the marquee matchups like Baylor Gonzaga. And Gonzaga, of course, throttling the Baylor Bears in that opener 101-63. But under the radar, North Florida went into South Carolina and knocked off the Gamecocks straight up, 174-71. So the Ospreys are a team, and I think are going to continue to win. They get Charleston Southern tonight. A squad that they should have a distinct advantage against. Charleston Southern in their opener in Clemson lost 91-64, gave up 1.091 points per possession. I know North Florida is going to be kind of touch and go defensively this season, but a team that should be in the top 3 in its conference. Charleston Southern expected to be in the bottom 4 of their league. So all I need is North Florida to secure the victory lane. I think 6.5, 7 points in the standard line. And I need both Cincinnati and Baltimore to score at least 20 points. Put those together, plus 116 creatively so at BetMGM. Numero 5 on the countdown. Lundy, better follow.
I like the Cincinnati-Baltimore part of it, and you know more about college basketball than I do. So I'm just going to defer to you on this one. But I definitely like each of them to score 20 points. I think that's going to happen no matter what. And like I said, North Florida, South Florida, Central Florida, Florida A&M, Florida Atlantic, Florida Atlantic we'll talk about coming up in bonus time. But whatever Brad says for college basketball, because on Monday, who was it? It was Santa Clara and the Billikens, right?
Yeah, correct.
I made some money thanks to you. So, let's just rock and roll here with a little college hoops with our bracketologist.
Oh, I love November, and I love, of all teams, North Florida.
Number 4.
Numero 4 here on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's focus in right now on Thursday night football. And this is only like kind of a one-shot pour, quite honestly, because you want to be sober to enjoy the game from beginning to end. I think Charlie Kolar, of all people, is going to catch the over on receiving yards. That number saying at 15.5. At tape time, the only book that had this was BetMGM at a -110. The other books a little slow to take. Maybe they're outright scared of posting anything on him. Remember, no Isaiah Likely. Got to be in uniform this evening. So Kolar could play maybe 30-40% of the overall snap share. And you look at the guy and what he did last time out in the Week 5 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. A season high, 4 targets, 3 receptions for 64 yards, and he only played 27.3% of the snaps. Again, I think that snap share is going to be a little bit higher with Likely not in uniform. Already laid it out, all the woes Cincinnati has had defensively. Number 20 in pass EPA, D on the air. A dozen tight ends have gone for at least 16 yards against them, as they have allowed the 7th most yards at the tight end position. So Charlie Kolar, I think is going to be kind of an unsung hero with the betting market. Obviously, Mark Andrews is going to be the main man for the Baltimore Ravens. But Kolar should make us some cash on the over 15.5 receiving yards at a -110 at BetMGM. Numero 4 on the countdown. Probably we're not expecting this name, Lundy. Fade or follow.
Isn't that the company that makes faucets?
They make a great toilet.
Really?
They do.
Let me try to think. That might be the brand. We replaced all our toilets about a year ago.
Yeah.
That might be the brand that our plumber did. I might have to ask him now. I don't care. Whatever you want to do with this pick. Up until I looked at the script before we started and I was like, I wonder if he comes from money. Like maybe he builds toilets. Maybe his family, maybe this, like that's where my head went. Not like, oh, is this guy going to get 16 yards? No. I was like, wonder if his family makes toilets.
Yeah, and that might be the case. Kolar, highly flushable can. Kolar, the football player, highly bettable.
Number 3.
Numero tres here on the Feed 5 Countdown. Sea-hole, smash-hole. Oh, the football Frankenstein, Derrick Henry. I say he runs for at least 90 yards tonight against the Bengals at even Steven plus 100 odds available there at DraftKings Sportsbook. You know the MO of Derrick Henry. All he does is smash the opposition and would-be tacklers. Steamroller in the open field. Number 9 in yards after contact per attempt at 3.61 is tracked at Pro Football Focus. Number 4 in total missed tackles forced with 33 this season. 6 times, a half dozen times, he's gone over 90 yards this year, including the first matchup against the Bengals. Now, granted, it took him until overtime. He had a long gallop in that game. It got him to the 92 finish, but he got there. It still counts the same. And I think he's going to be able to duplicate that effort tonight, hopefully in regulation. You look at the Bengals, number 30 in rush EPAD, giving up 4.1 yards per carry, 93.8 rush yards per game. The opposition, 5 guys, 5 of them at the running back position, including Henry, have hit 90 yards against them. So Derrick Henry, the football Frankenstein, be a statistical monster. Go for at least 90 or more yards. And we're cashing in at an even Steven plus 100 juice at DraftKings. Numero Trace on the countdown. Lundy, fade or follow.
I know he can, but I'm going to fade you on this one.
Oh!
I am going to fade you on this one. I know he could go ballistic. He could go for 100 and all that, but I go back to what you just said. It was a 51-yard run in overtime that put him even, frankly, to the point where fantasy owners were happy. Because it was a lower output game for him than what we have seen, despite the fact that he's already got, 1,000, almost 1,100 yards on the season. But it did take that one gallop. Can he do it? Hell yes, he can. But I'm going to fade you on this one. I've got a Derrick Henry play that I kind of like that I'll share with you at plus odds coming up that doesn't have to do with his total. It has to do with the game flow.
Derrick Henry just destroy the box score, my friend, and hopefully you'll be able to do that in 4 quarters of action. Hey, you want some more action? Well, they're on Thursday Night Football, the NHL, Lundy's specialty, college basketball. I'm going to have another article up, I think tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because there's a couple of monster games on Saturday. College football, ton of content from Ben Wittenstein, Nate Jacobson, right now living on the gamingjuice.com. Go there. It's absolutely free, jackals. Sign up for a free account. And if you get that membership, you can fire off a question to me in the Ask Brad slow chat. I'm going to jump in there periodically throughout the entire day. Ask all of your pressing fantasy football needs or conundrums that you may have in the world of sports betting. Also, all of my fantasy content lives there. My rankings, my Fantasy Flames articles. I'm going to have top props out probably late tomorrow, early Saturday. Looking at the week number 10 NFL slate. Again, just so much stinking content. Lundy's free spreadsheet lives there. My free picks also live there in the world of college basketball, the NFL. Go to the gamingjuice.com right now. It's 100% free. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
Numero dos on the Fade 5 countdown. And you could actually read all the gory details about this bet right now at thegamingjuice.com. And my Thursday night picks breakdown. I love this prop. It's numero dos, nearly added a numero uno here on the countdown, but I got something slightly better. But Rashod Bateman, I like the over on 16.5 yards, longest catch at a minus 115 juice here at BetMGM. This opened at 17.5, and it's come down, and I can't explain it, quite frankly. Bateman's specialty is chunk gains, and if you look at the data, it backs it up. He has done this 9 times. 9 so far this season. A guy that had an 18-yard reception in the first matchup between these two squads back in week 5. He is top 10 among eligible wide receivers in ADOT at 13.9, yards per target 11.5, yards per reception at 17.9. So his average catch is greater than the number here on the 16.5. He's also way up there in total route wins, top 10 with 86 on the season. I look at the Bengals, number 11 in the most air yards they have surrendered this season, number 20 in pass EPA defense, and more importantly, he gets Cameron Taylor-Britt most often in coverage tonight. He has allowed the 5th most yards to his assignments, 15 yards per catch, and a 112.2 passer rating. So put it all together, Rashod Bateman, make me some buckaroos on the over 16.5 yards, longest catch, numero dos. Today's Fade 5 countdown at a minus 115 at BetMGM. Good, sir. Fade or follow.
See, now I'm scratching my head because I can't remember what you put at number 1. I thought this was number 1.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm all over this. I mean, good God, this is, I like this. I don't want to call things automatic or easy money because none of this is ever easy, but I really like this bet. So now I can't remember what's number 1. Hurry up, Brad.
Well, hey, Bateman, just don't have a case of the dropsies like last week, please.
Number 1.
Numero uno for the big payoff for Nate Lundy's brain here on the countdown. Jamar Chase, I might have heard of him. I think he goes for 90 or more receiving yards at a plus 110 juice. Yeah, roll the shoulders and get seduced by that juice there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Let me refresh your memory if you already forgot what he did back in week 5 against the Baltimore Ravens secondary. 12 targets, 10 receptions, only $193 and 2 touchdowns. I need 90 receiving yards. He could shave off 100 and I still cash in from that first performance. A guy that, okay, sure, Jamar Chase only number 26 in total air yards, but he is number 3 in total yak among all eligible wide receivers, number 18 in yards per target, number 21 in yards per route run. And the Ravens, again, they're woeful. They are a turnstile, the back end defensively, number 29 in pass EPAD. And he got a ton of Brandon Stevens in that first matchup. He gets more Brandon Stevens tonight. Oh, my goodness, a galactic return is imminent. Stevens this season has allowed the most yards of any defensive back in the NFL at 514, also giving up a 66.6% catch rate and a 116.4 passer rating to his assignment. So numero uno on the Fade 5 countdown today. I'm chasing the funds with Jamar on 90 or more receiving yards at a plus 110 juice. Sexy juice there. Available at DraftKings Sportsbook. Lundy, fade or follow.
Let's have some fun, my friends. I will follow you on this one. I didn't like the alt total when it came to Derrick Henry, but I do like the alt total here with Jamar because it's Jamar.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man. Plus, the fact that he's got to try to do this on the road against a really, frankly, shitty secondary. Let's have some fun.
Oh, I like having fun, which means we need more action. It's bonus time. Whether it's on the hashtag Tequila Thursday matchup between the Ravens and Bengals, whether it's on the ice, your specialty, maybe you got to dabble in college basketball, college football, the NBA, only 3 games on that slate, but still some offerings to choose from. Lundy, make me some more money.
Let's give it a shot here, folks. First, let's go to the association. Brad just said it. There are only 3 games, but there is a game that I want to focus in on, and I'm going to play the alt total on this one. It's a minus 105, so you're giving up a little bit of juice, but I am willing to do it. Give me Giannis to have 50 or more on the PRA for this evening. That, again, minus 105 on the alt total sitting over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Couple of reasons why. First, he's done this in back-to-back games going into this contest. And tonight, he gets to play the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz give up more assists than any team in the NBA. Folks, the Jazz are allowing 30 assists per game to their opponents right now. That's right. They're north of 30. So minus 105, I will play that one for Giannis. You got to cross your fingers, obviously, that it doesn't turn into a massive blowout. But at the same time, with the way Milwaukee is with 1 win on the season, I think this is one that they're going to want to come out, try to make a little bit of a statement. So give me Giannis for 50 or more on the PRA tonight at a minus 105 juice. Let me go back to the ice. I don't have the juice sitting in front of me. Let me see if I can snag it because I did actually have it a little bit earlier. There are some heavy favorites tonight in the NHL, and in this particular one, I want to play it for sure. Give me Carolina at home against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and give me the Florida Panthers at home against Nashville. That's a simple two-legger on the money line at a plus 103. Now, if you wanted to take both of those teams, Florida and Carolina, to win it in regulation, I wouldn't hate it. And that bumps it up to a plus 179. I don't feel like I need to give you a whole lot of reasons for Carolina. They're a great team, and the Canes are playing very well. The reason I love Florida at home tonight, first of all, the Panthers have not played since Saturday. That's because they were in the international game over in Finland, for you Monty Python fans. So they were playing in Finland, which means they're well rested, and now they're back home. The flip side to that, Nashville is playing their first road back-to-back of the season. I like the Preds, but not on the second night of a back-to-back, and certainly not with their backup goaltender because Jussi Saros went last night. So give me Florida at home. Give me Carolina at home. It's plus 103 on the money line. It's plus 179 if you want to take them each on the 60-minute line. I told you I had something on the junior circuit with some Thursday night football tonight. This is a really simple two-leg for you that includes a money line and an alt total. Let's talk about East Carolina. Brad, what, the Pirates?
Yar!
They are taking on Florida Atlantic. That's why we're talking about FAU. ECU is a heavy money line favorite. I want to say they're around 300 or so, but I'm taking them on the money line. And then I'm going to go over to Appalachian State and the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. Give me the over on the alt total of 56.5 between those two teams. I'm pulling that total down by 6 points, taking it down to 56.5. If you play the over on that one and add it to ECU on the money line, that is a plus 114 at DraftKings Sportsbook. I already gave you the early bonus. Take tonight on the ice between Winnipeg and Colorado. Take the over in that one at the 6.5. Like I said, they've done it in 6 out of their last 7 times that they have met. And then beyond that, folks, I've got some good, I think they're good, which means they're going to freaking fail. I've got some good hockey plays tonight. The fact that there are 12 games on the schedule helps us out a lot. There are also some guys like Barkov, Reinhart for Florida, guys that are on point streaks right now that we're going to take advantage of. Kevin Fiala for the LA Kings. So just go to the spreadsheet. As Brad said, the link is up there on thegamingjuice.com. You can also find it if you follow me on Twitter, and you'll see some of those picks on there. Last one I'm going to give you. I know I'm kind of crazy to do this one. This was almost my plus bus, Brad, because I was going to try to just completely go nuts. Give me Mark Andrews for a touchdown. Give me Mike Gesicki for a touchdown. Plus 800.
Oh my God!
At DraftKings, I'm only sprinkling a bet on it. It's nothing I'm going crazy with. I love the Mark Andrews pick, by the way. I sprinkled something on Andrews to score the first touchdown, by the way, which is plus 1,100 at BetMGM. And I don't know why I'm leaning into Gesicki. I'm probably stupid for doing it. But if you do the all tight ends all the time, that is plus 800 for both of those guys to score a tutty tonight. I'm going to give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah, with T. Higgins out, why the hell not with Mike Gesicki? I think it's an excellent call there.
I'm like, I could be totally nuts, but there's part of me that's like, what if we think there's going to be scoring, and you already talked about the 79 points between these two the last time they played? Give me a shot. Why not?
Yep, maximize the matchup, as I like to say. So excellent call on that one. All right, let's work in my action here. The Team Huevos parlay play of the day on Thursday night. SGP style, as always. Give me the Baltimore Ravens straight up on the money line. Give me Joe Burrow for 2 or more passing touchdowns. To give me Action Jackson Lamar to run for just 25 yards. Hold off on the payoff. Built there at BetMGM. Leg numero uno, Baltimore's 1. the last 3 consecutive matchups against the Bengals, and they're 4-1 in their last 5 at M&T Stadium, and it's being played there in the land of Edgar Allan Poe. So I believe the Ravens will secure the victory in what should be a barn burner from start to finish. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow, 2 or more passing touchdowns. He had 5 in the first game back in week 5. I don't think he's going to duplicate that, but he's still going to have a damn good fantasy effort betting night as well. Baltimore, 7.96 pass yards per attempt allowed, 301.8 pass yards per game, and 18 touchdowns they have given up in total to the quarterback position. 5 guys have thrown for 2 or more against him. And you look at Burrow, he's done this 6 times this season. Number 4 in adjusted completion percentage, top 12 as well, and red zone completion percentage on the season. So I think he chucks at least a pair of end zone strikes. And Lamar Jackson, 25 or more rush yards. He should hit this maybe the first quarter and a half of plays, averaging 9.3 attempts per game, 56.1 rush yards per game. He has gone for 25 or more yards in 8 of 9 contests this season at a double nickel. On the ground, 55. If you don't know what the nickel is anymore, I know a lot of people don't carry change, but that's what he had the first game against the Bengals back in week 5. Cincinnati, as I mentioned, 30 in the NFL in rush EPAD, and they've given up the most rushing yards to the quarterback position. So Lamar Jackson, 25 or more. So to recap, SGP, some low-hanging fruit here. Baltimore on the money line. Burrow, 2 or more passing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 25 or more rush yards. Oh, baby! A cool plus 160 built there at BetMGM. I know Lundy is digging that one.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm digging that one. Give me Baltimore on the money. You know, another bet, by the way, that I like that I think DK has, let me throw this real quick, at +1, I think it's at +135, that you can get, which is for Baltimore to win from behind.
Oh, interesting.
So let's say Cincinnati gets the ball to start. They go down. EMAC kicks a field goal. That counts as coming from behind, folks.
Wow.
And I kind of liked that. I liked this idea of, either Cincinnati scoring first, or maybe at some point it's like 7-3, 10-7, and then Baltimore comes back and wins. I thought that was kind of a fun way to play Baltimore on the money line.
Yeah, that's an excellent call there. Let me give you some additional action. And bonus time. We'll go back to Thursday Night Football. Joe Burrow to throw for 300 or more yards, +180 at BetMGM. That's an outstanding value, well north of that in the first matchup. He's done it a couple times this season. Actually, I've done it in both of the battles of the Beltway. So against the prior matchup versus the Ravens, and also against the Commanders. So he's had that area of the country's number, to say the least. And as I mentioned, Baltimore giving up over 301 pass yards per game to opposing signal callers. So Burrow with 300 or more on that alt line at +180. Elsewhere in this game, how about some more Rashod Bateman action? And again, he could do this on a singular catch. You and I both love the over on 16.5 receiving yards. Let's say he catches that straight away to start the game, and it goes for 20 or more yards. Race to 20 for Rashod Bateman, nearly 10-1, +950 right now at DraftKings Sportsbook. So that's worth a little sprinkle in my estimation. I just hope the Ravens win the kickoff.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be key.
By the way, I teased this and I forgot about it, but I just found it on my notes. I told you that I had a different thing that I wanted to do for some plus money with Derrick Henry. For Derrick Henry to have 10 yards rushing in each quarter, +125.
Oh, muy interesante. That's highly achievable.
That's pretty, he's going to get at least one handoff on every possession, right?
Yeah.
So I'm taking my chances on it, but I kind of like that one at +125, 10 or more rush yards in each quarter. That one's over at DK as well.
Yeah, love that call. And let me give you one more college basketball bet. Again, this is a parlay, multi-legger. North Florida is going to be leg numero uno on the money line. So just win straight up in that matchup against Charleston Southern, which I believe they will. These are all totals. And I love betting, big name schools beating up on meek opponents this time of year, especially those big name schools with high adjusted tempos. Florida, 79 or more points. SMU, 81 or more points, and the Iowa Hawkeyes, 83 or more points. So North Florida money line, Gators, 79 or more points, Mustangs, 81 or more points, Hawkeyes, 83 or more points, +124. Built that one at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, I'm out of breath, and we are out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Do us a favor, would you kindly drop us a rating and a review at your convenience? Also, you can fade or follow us on the X. Lundy, always giving it to you there at Nate Lundy. I'm doing the same at Noisy Huevos. Go to thegamingjuice.com right now and sign up for a free account. And until next time, which will be tomorrow on Friday with the full NFL slate. We'll work in some college football picks as well. As always, fade or follow. That is up to you. Blast off, Bengals in Baltimore!